Hello, everyone, and welcome to the reading of the week for February 26th to March 5th. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I am here to do a reading for the highest and greatest benefit of all those listening. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information that is most needed right now, and to provide that in a manner that will be easily heard, understood, and integrated for the highest and greatest benefit of anyone who listens now and in the future. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening to be present and facilitate this reading, as well as an overlighting angel of communication to facilitate the exchange and ensure that it happens in the highest and best way possible. I'd also like to invite the four archangels to come and hold the four directions around us, creating a sacred container of light, of love, of wisdom, of clarity, of peace, of understanding, of transformation, of wisdom, of anything that is in our collective heart and mind at this time. And anything that doesn't match our very high frequencies of light and love and good energy are welcome to go now. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. I thank you for being with us and for gracing us with all of your good energy. And so onward and upward, what do we need to know for the coming week? My Christmas cactus wanted to be in on the action today with her rather jubilant blooms. I hope that wherever you are well. Very good. Okay. Excuse me. So we have past, present, and future, and the other cards. Let's get started with our recent past. Influence is waning, but it continues into our present and into our future. This idea of protection, this idea of legacy, this idea of that which lives beyond us. Continuity of line, continuity of property, continuity of tradition, continuity of your gift to the world. You think about those museums that are full of wonderful works of art by artists who are long gone, but still with us through their work. This idea of what are we passing on? What are we bringing forward? What are we creating for the future? So this is the recent past. This is the card that we're coming from, this idea of building something for the future, something good and something permanent, something long-lasting. And from a place of love, we have purified desire up here in the white roses, and this another rose down here encircling this couple at the foundation of this house, so sort of speaking again, as I said, of this idea of legacy, of tradition, of passing down, of passing on, of taking care of future generations through our actions now. So this is the information or the energy of this card of the Ten of Pentacles. The current card, the present, is the card of Temperance. And this is about balancing ourselves, balancing extremes. There's a lot of extreme happening right now in terms of, we're getting one particular voice that's very loud and very strong right now, and it's not permitting other voices to have their say, which is dangerous in the long run because suppression always erupts. One way or the other, it needs to come up and out. We're all here. We all have different perspectives for a reason. Those different perspectives matter, and they need to be heard. This card, Temperance, is in our present. It's all about this idea of balance, of being wise and balanced in our energy, in our output, in our intake, in whatever it is that we're doing, not to overdo anything. Moderation in all things. So it's very important for us to take the moderate approach, not the extreme approach, but to hear other perspectives, hear other voices, because they are important and they do inform us and they help to broaden our understanding and our picture. again, so we can come to better solutions. So in the present, we're being reminded with this major arcana to be balanced in all things, to be conscientious and intentional about where we're putting our life force, where we're putting our energy, and not to overdo it in any one area or thing. And this can be from a more corporeal perspective, not overdoing anything on the bodily level, but it's also in the level of the mind and the heart and the spirit, seeking the middle ground, seeking balance, seeking neutrality, seeking amusement, seeking that wonderful neutral space that it connects us to the broader, wiser part of us. This is in our present. So finding our middle ground and being intentional about that. I love this card. Sorry, I have to just point this out. You have the human here is receiving the sacred water from the angels. And she's got her hand up like, whoa, that's enough. There's that little symbol for temperance for today. Okay. And here we have the foundation. Oh, I've jumped to the foundation. I didn't do the future. Sorry. The foundation for this week is the card of strength. And this is a lovely card, another major arcana, but it's not the strength of domination. It's not the strength of power over others. It's the quiet, inner resilient strength that comes when we know ourselves, when we are rooted in our deeper truth, our broader wisdom, when we overcome the animal aspect of our nature and we exist in an enlightened state. See, she has the little infinity symbol. It doesn't show up if I get too close. So she has the infinity symbol over her head, which indicates that she's activated, that she's connected to the broader, wiser part of her, the infinite part of her. And as such, she's made friends with the animal, which represents, with the lion, which represents our animal nature, our lower instinct, our baser instinct. And so this card is reminding us, the foundation of this week is all about being in our higher, broader, wiser place, that place of wisdom, of kindness. Again, this very same things we talked about here, this sort of wisdom that comes from a broader, wiser place, of being in a place of balance, of being in a state of neutrality, so we can receive the broader wisdom, so we can exist in this place of grace. And again, not dominating the animal aspect of ourselves, but being greater than it, loving that part of us, taking care of that part of us, and understanding it's part of who we are as a human, but that we are not the animal. We are more than the animal. We are here to transcend. We are here to become more. We are here to exercise all aspects, develop all aspects of our being, and our physical, more animal aspect is part of that. And it is an important part of us being human, and it's not the most important part, and it's not the only part. It's simply part of the picture. And yet there's strength there. There is wisdom that comes from understanding and embracing that part of ourselves rather than making it wrong. Creating harmony within our hearts. You know, we have this tree, but it also looks like a rose, and it's a pink rose, and that's the symbol of love, that symbol of gentleness, of kindness, and ease. So again, good messages for this week. We have these two major arcanas here. Let's see what the future tells us. Completion. So this is a very nice card as well. This very gentle energy. You have this wife and her husband, and they're standing back to back, and the lines of energy are very even throughout the card. The number 4 is very stable. Wands are all about creativity, inspiration, and passion. This is about leveraging our passion for a greater purpose, for a greater good, following our enthusiasm, honoring that, because that's the voice of spirit calling us onward. That's life pulling us forward, honoring that and grounding it in our life in a good way to make it solid, to make it a blessing to all those who meet us, who encounter us and our world. So our level grounded energy comes from this connection to source, this ability to take our energies and our enthusiasms and our inspirations and ground them into the third world manifestation, into this world, is so powerfully supported when we have this connection to source that comes through meditation, that comes through being quiet, that comes through prayerful times. So I love this because, you know, he has his hand up in blessing and she has her hands up in blessing, and this idea of blessing, of well-being, of evenness, and of beauty and transformation which is possible when we're deeply grounded in that source energy space. And, understanding that as we follow what life excites in us, that we follow the inspiration that evokes that enthusiasm in us, we are, again, remembering that life is calling to us. We are here to fulfill a path, a passion, a purpose. We're here to live our life richly and fully in service to our unfolding, becoming more than we were. And we do that by following that enthusiasm, by following that inspiration. How we need to be? Prince of Swords. Okay, so things changing and moving around pretty quickly on the level of ideas and action. So the next little while, this isn't time to navel gaze. It's about getting stuff done, and it's about doing it from a very practical place. What needs to be done? And it's tax season. Oh, imagine. So this is that kind of energy. It's like, what are the have-tos? What are the things that need to get done? And how do you do them efficiently and well? Put your energy into it, get it done, and move efficiently through it. Not getting bogged down in the details, just staying practical, staying rational, staying functional, doing what needs to be done and moving to the next thing. This isn't about, growing grass under your feet. This is about moving forward. And as always, we have this lovely dove down here, which just reminds us to come from that place of peace and groundedness. And of course, that idea of peace is related to meditation and the practice of meditation. And of course, all of this, all that we desire, all that we want, all that we long for is possible when we have a powerful meditation practice and we stay grounded in the broader, wiser part of us and allow that to live through us more fully. Because then we make good decisions. We make smart choices. We're sensitive to what we hear from others. We're sensitive to what we're sensing from our environment, and we just are better able to adjust and adapt and be resilient and stay in that, again, that neutral place. But it's a playful neutral place. It's that engaging with God, engaging with life from a very easy and graceful space. So that's how we need to be this week, is getting our work done and doing it well and moving, and as I said, if we line up with our meditation and our source practice, our connection to source, to the broader, wiser part of us, this movement happens with way more grace and ease. So leveraging that power for our greater well-being. How others are going to be? Celebration. Seems to me we had it in this position not that long ago. So celebration is this idea of enjoyment, of pleasure, of looking out at the world and finding those things that we appreciate and celebrate. And indeed, because this is in the position of others, this is how others are going to be. So looking out into the world. So while, we're getting good things done here, we can expect to see other people reminding us to celebrate life, reminding us to appreciate life and look for the beauty, look for the good, look for the things that lighten our hearts. Have a little dance, move around a bit, see the world, smell the roses, that kind of an idea. Spring is coming. So just keeping your eyes open for those harbingers of that lightheartedness and beauty and celebration and well-being and letting that inform you, remind you of that in your own experience, to soften your heart and look out into the world with loving eyes and to look for the things that bring you pleasure, to look for the things that there are to celebrate. Okay, and then we have the outcome card. No, I guess, this keeps happening and it's okay. So we have the nightmare card, and don't worry, it doesn't mean that we're sliding into a great big nightmare. It can mean, though, that we have to stay, I'll come back to the analogy of a nightmare. When we're in a nightmare, we're dreaming, we feel like that's what's real. We feel like that's what's true until we wake up. And when we wake up, we realize, no, that's not actually what's true. That was just a dream. And so this is keeping this presence to us, that we need to keep our consciousness open. And if things come our way which seem challenging, difficult to assimilate, realize that there's a path through it, that there's something there for us, and that we will get through it, that anything and everything that happens to us is part of a larger plan, and it is helping us to open up, to grow, to become more than we were, to see things more broadly, and to step into our power as co-creators with life. So this outcome, or what we're moving towards, is this, I have a feeling with this card, what I'm getting is this idea that there are going to be things that come our way that are unpleasant, that we don't like the look of, that we don't want to look at, maybe even. We'd rather stay awake, asleep. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's something there about the dreaming, though, this piece about being asleep and waking up, and possibly the waking isn't all that pleasant, but recognizing that even if the waking isn't pleasant, it's still serving us in a broader perspective, resting in that, trusting in the bigger plan, trusting in the possibility space that we are here to grow, and that adversity and contrast provides us with the opportunity to clarify what we prefer, and from that place we're able to move powerfully forward. We can always choose to move in the direction of what we want to create. And I'm not saying it's easy, and sometimes it can be challenging, but it's always doable. We just have to remember, and that can be the challenge in the moment of when you're caught in a nightmare and you think that's all there is and there's no way out. That's an illusion. There's always a way out, and there's always an opportunity for waking up and seeing things from a different perspective that allows us to be more adaptable and resilient and move powerfully forward no matter what. So this is interesting as we're moving towards it, because everything else here is very nice, very, very even, very good. But I think this is a possibility that things may be coming our way that we might find challenging or provocative. We need to remember to be resilient with it, to stay broader, to stay curious, to stay open to a broader perspective, a different perspective, a wider lens, so to speak, and understanding that what strikes us as adversity and contrast is really, again, an opportunity for greater self-understanding, and from that place of self-understanding, a redirection of our energy and our life force towards what is wanted. So as I said, it's a very optimistic and positive reading, and then we move into this where there may be, the words cognitive dissonance has been expressed again and again, and that's when our perception of reality breaks down, and it's hard to believe, and it's hard to take it in, and it can create a breakdown in our perception of the world, and that's sort of the quality that this card has. But if we are grounded, and coming back to this place of a spiritual practice, of a grounding practice, of being moderate, of taking care of ourselves in body, mind, heart, and spirit, doing what we need to do to take care of ourselves so we are resilient, so we are grounded in our deeper wisdom, our connection to source, and letting our desire to leave a good legacy, to leave a solid foundation, inspire us. This idea of 7 generations hence, what do we want for them? What do we want to create for them? Always motivated from a bigger picture. What is my legacy to life? What am I contributing to the future? And how am I doing that? This near future, finding partnership, standing back to back, holding space in the light, holding space in love, creating stability for each other in this inspired place of awakening, of creativity, of inspiration, of passion, of enthusiasm, finding like-minded people and supporting each other and staying grounded and solid and co-creative, holding each other in a good way. This energy, getting things done, being practical, doing what needs to be done, and getting it accomplished, whatever that might be for you. Again, as I said, it's tax time, so it could be just practically like this, but this idea of practicality, of not getting bogged down in thoughts and emotions, and because many times they are a part of us being human, and they are important. I don't want to undermine that, but there is also a time when we need to be wise and practical and move through things with grace. succinctly and quickly and not get bogged down in the story or the emotions that come with the story. And that's this energy here. How others are going to be reminding us of our blessings, reminding us of the beauty, reminding us of all that we have to be grateful for. This is what we can expect from others. And this will come in little reminders or bigger reminders, but this idea that how do we help each other to stay mindful of our blessings and stay in that blessed state of gratitude and appreciation and love and thankfulness for all the good that we have. Then our outcome, this Nine of Swords, this idea of nightmare, of things coming our way that rock our boat, ideas, concepts, information, and just finding your balance with it, coming back to what's important and grounding you, coming back to your source, coming back to your connection to source, and letting that inform you as you move through the things that might be challenging you, helping you to reframe your perspective in a good way, in a resilient way, so that you can adjust and adapt and be capable and powerful in the light of any challenges. Okay, so that's the reading for this week. I hope it's helpful to you. I'm just going to fold up the cards and we'll just jump to the card of the week and see what our card to grow on is. What do we need to know for the week ahead? What clear, succinct message do the cards have for us for the week ahead? Signals. So this is about receiving and exchanging information and being open to the information and allowing the information to bloom, to take on new life, to bring inspiration, to bring possibility space into our world. So this card is all about communication. It's about staying open. It's about receiving communication and sending communication. And we have the rose here. Again, this idea of highest purpose, of love, of coming from a loving place from within ourselves when we're communicating, coming from that intentional place of speaking from a place of love, speaking for the greater good, speaking from what's true for you, and understanding that we each have our own truths. And so it's safe for us to receive information from other people because what they're holding as their truth may be different than what we're holding as ours. But it's important for us to hear each other because that's where the understanding can start to happen. That's where the peace and loving and kind support can happen. We don't have to make each other wrong for having different perspectives because all of those different perspectives enrich us as a human family. We need to have those different perspectives to grasp greater possibilities for us collectively. So this week, this is about signals. This is about looking out into the world, sending out messages and receiving messages in return, but always from that place of love, always from that place of greater good, for the highest and greatest good. And that might be a little mantra that you just carry with you these days and out into life. You know, may all that I say and do come from a place of love and serve the highest and greatest good. So, in this too, because it's a wand, look for your highest inspiration and excitement in it all. And you know, it's really fun when we connect with others who share our highest enthusiasm and inspiration. We can really have a lot of fun with those people. This doesn't limit it to those people, but it certainly would indicate that staying with, you know, like by being inspired is not such a bad thing. It's a very high frequency energy, and being in that state of inspiration is a blessing, certainly for us collectively as humanity at this time. So there we are, our card to grow on this week. Signals, communication, being in communication, sharing what we know or sharing what we're feeling, sharing what's in our hearts, and hearing and receiving what's in others, and coming together and becoming more as a result of it. Creator, thank you for this opportunity to be of service this week. I ask that you be with us, that you help us to open our hearts, to open our minds, to open our spirits, to help us to strive always to become more than we were, to be gentle and kind with ourselves on all levels, and to use that kindness well to expand into a state of life, of love, of wisdom, of generosity, of kindness on all levels of our being for all life everywhere. I ask that you help us to get things done efficiently and effectively, and always, always to come back to you, to ground ourselves in you, to anchor ourselves in you, and to come to life from a place of being a channel for your light and your love to flow through us and shine in us. Because we don't know what our role is, and we may have a role to be a channel of light in someone else's life, and to trust the words that come, to trust the inspiration that comes our way to share with others. It's a time where we need lots of good inspiration, so go out there and be fruitful. Be a source of inspiration and light. Let your light shine brightly and well, and love yourself for doing it, and love others for also doing their part. Okay, folks, that's it for this week. Lots and lots of love, and I will see you next Friday. Take good care.